subscribe and ring the bell to never miss an update. Hello everyone! Today on Lady Mary Beth, I am taking you inside a luxury Houston high-rise for exclusive access to an online estate sale. Join me for treasures. The estate sale company is very busy today, photographing each item to present for the online estate sale auction. And it's also a good opportunity for you to be able to look at these items, take your time doing your research, and then you can bid on these as soon as the auction opens. And what a beautiful view it is from the Houston Galleria area. And pickup will also be local. Welcome to this Emily Styles online estate sale auction. It's actually a living estate sale. The owners have chosen to travel the world without a home base. Sounds like a good idea to me. Let's go inside and have a look at the treasures they have carefully curated from around the world. You may have already experienced online auctions with estatesales.net. Oftentimes it is for local pickup only, as is the case here. And we will find anything from home furnishings to collectibles and even some rare items. With an online estate sale, you will have numbers attached to each item. This KitchenAid mixer, for example, is number 215. You can preview the auction without registering, but if you plan to bid, then you definitely need to do that first. And I will put a link in the video description so you have all of that information. You can go straight to the sale. There's some great items here. And there is also artwork. We can choose anything from modern, beautifully framed and matted, to a pencil drawing. This is Green Mansions, made for better homes and gardens. It's about a romance. And quite an interesting collection. I see these often in antique stores. You might recognize this Dutch village. And if you fly the friendly skies in first class, you might have these. You've probably seen these tiny blue and white Dutch houses at antique stores and thrift shops. They were given to first-class passengers on KLM flights filled with spirits. There's actually an entire collection at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam in the KLM lounge. And this family actually had the entire collection, but they did leave some behind in a previous home. And there are several here, and they might complete your collection. Here is one of those unique finds. A carved jade dragon. In the Chinese culture, the dragon represents good luck, strength, and health. And the dragon is unique because it's the only mythical creature of all the animals in the Chinese zodiac. And there are more babies born in the year of the dragon than any other. I happen to have a golden dragon born in the year 2000. This is a fantastic piece. It's the year of the dragon. This is a magnificent piece. Jade carving is one of the oldest and most important art forms in China, a craft steeped in history and tradition, reflecting Chinese philosophy and culture. It dates back to the Neolithic age, and it has been continuously developed for 7,000 years. This carved jade dragon is one of the most powerful representations of good fortune and would be a wonderful addition to your home. And they also have everyday items such as clocks, furnishings, and you will see a hint of Chinoiserie throughout the home. They did lots of traveling. And here is another piece of carved jade. We'll talk more about this. And there's some even bigger surprises. With roots dating back to the Tang Dynasty, jade carvings of horses are the bearer of good fortune. That brings much luck, and these are highly collectible. This actually might be a dark green jade, although it does appear to be black. One advantage to shopping this sale is that it is stateside. You are not having to pay for this to come across the ocean. Perhaps you could arrange for a shipper. You will see those green tones coming through. It is truly green jade, even though it appears to be black jade at first. A mythical creature with its own custom base. Quite a fantastic piece that you could place down low, up high, and I did move it to give you a different perspective, and I can tell you it is quite heavy. And this would be a wonderful piece to offer protection to your home. Jade can be one of two minerals, jadeite or nephrite, which is also known as black jade. Both are authentic jade, but there are significant differences, specifically with the hardness. And this court dog is a spectacular piece with a custom-made base. Continuing with our jade pieces, a pair of screens. These antique beauties were actually saved by a collector during the Cultural Revolution, where many objects were destroyed by the Red Guards, and they primarily targeted what is considered the four olds: old ideas, customs, culture, and habits of mind. These are true survivors. An important dark green variety of nephrite is often referred to as spinach jade. These screens are great examples of that, and it has small black graphite inclusions. These tell quite a story with a poem on the back. I will tell you more about the meaning and history. The back of each screen is a Chinese poem written in a very ancient set of characters, and it refers to the story of the cowherder and his maiden. It is quite a well-known story, and this is based on a historical piece, and it is an antique in itself. Truly a historical piece here, and I know this will be appreciated by the collector. They don't hit the market too often, and you see how the sunlight enhances the beauty of these pieces. Lots of Chinoiserie elements and inspiration, including with artwork. And when you consider the cost of custom framing, I'm sure this will be quite affordable. I like to open the cabinets and find the cut crystal, anything for tabletop. And I'm drawn to the Eastern European hand-cut wines, hand-painted china, and everyday glasses. You can also find affordable items at estate sales. It's not always about the big ticket items. You see that hobstar design carried through in the creamer, and a covered sugar. This would be a wonderful addition to your tabletop collection or a great gift. And we'll find some more treasures in the cabinets. Lots to discover in the dining room. Some of these are family heirlooms. As we see the beautiful Houston skyline, there's also something else of beauty in this Chinoiserie-inspired cabinet. Some American Brilliant cut glass and Cambridge Rose Point. Let's take a closer look at these tabletop treasures. If you are a glass collector in the Houston area, the Houston Glass Show is coming up the weekend of February 16th, and there are some beautiful items there. But I have a feeling you're going to get some really good deals in this online auction. A very prolific pattern made by the Cambridge Glass Company. We'll take a closer look and talk a bit about the inspiration for the name and some of the history. You may even have some of these in your cabinet. Here's an American Brilliant pitcher. Love the shape of this, and look at those different points on the bottom. That is quality. I especially like the vase behind it. I might be bidding on that in the auction. Gorgeous pieces from turn of the century, early 1900s. And I think these dessert plates would enhance any pattern you have. And the clear goes with any color and style. I highly recommend adding these to your tabletop. Great for entertaining. It can be an underplate as well. And compotes, one of my favorite tabletop essentials. And what a beautiful round platter. Rose Point was designed by the Cambridge Glass Company of Ohio in 1934. When it hit the market in 1935, it was billed as the bride's pattern, and it truly became their most successful in the line until they closed in 1959. It was advertised as lacework on crystal, magnificent beyond compare. And Rose Point actually gets its name from a very famous Belgian lace, an intricate design called Rose Point. It's definitely missing in the bridal market today, I would say. Such a beautiful pattern. This claret decanter was purchased by the family at the Waterford Crystal factory in Ireland. It is based on a historical piece. You will notice it is footed, has those Atlanta diamond cuts. It has the original stopper, which is very important with the decanter because they are made to fit each piece. And this does go for a lot on the secondary market because it is such a rare item. I would definitely keep an eye on this with the online auction. This basket, the homeowner often used for melon balls. That is perfect for entertaining. Yet another use. It is European crystal. Could even be Polish or Czech. Perhaps German. I will be looking at this one as well. And an EAPG cake stand. This is probably from turn of the century. In perfect condition. Absolutely love this cake stand. And all that glitters really is gold. Let's take a look at all of these items. So much to discover. And think of the years of collecting. And you could have an instant collection. A wonderful mix of gold here in this Chinoiserie cabinet. We have mid-century barware and what looks like Pickard. These are hand-painted porcelain pieces covered in 24 karat gold. Pickard was founded in 1893 by Wilder Austin Pickard, who started in Wisconsin and later moved his operations to Chicago. Chinoiserie also made the hand-painted gold china. Isn't that beautiful? I like to turn over pieces to look at the back stamp. You can find so much information. I always say it is the roadmap to the history of a piece, including the country manufacturer, the brand. Let's turn over this bowl. It is made by Pickard, hand-painted. I remember going to the Pickard showroom at the Dallas market when I worked for Waterford. And this exquisite plate has connections to Germany. It is Heinrich & Company that was later purchased by Villeroy & Boch. Mid-century shines bright with these Culver oval Pisa crackle highballs. And you'll notice that it actually reverts back to a turquoise color you might see inside. These are fantastic and they go for a lot on the secondary market. Let's see what else we discover here. Salt cellars. These are fun. You could use them as nut cups as well or dipping sauce. And the back stamp is Noritake, made in Japan. Imagine the days when department stores were filled with these beautiful wares. Even the back stamp is quite pretty. Sugar and creamer, lots of teacups and saucers, which could also be used to serve a bouillon. Perhaps even fill it with a dessert, chocolate mousse. Let's take a look at this back stamp. Thomas, Bavaria. Made in Germany. That's quite a collection. And this dish is fully encrusted. The 24 karat has a basket design. This is my favorite. If you're familiar with this artist's signature, please let me know in the comments below. I can't quite make it out. Here's an overview of all the gold. And these are a first for me, covered salt cellars with an embellishment. That's not something that I had seen before. You always see the open salts, and I don't see a back stamp. These were probably hand-painted, imported porcelain pieces. We'll have a look at an unexpected collection that will be listed in the auction: rocks, minerals, and fossils. Even adding just one piece to your in-table, coffee table display could be quite an interesting talking point. It doesn't have to be an entire collection to have an impact. And some of these would actually work in a centerpiece display. I'm thinking this pop of color right here. Could even pair that with Chinoiserie. A fern leaf fossil. I have purchased similar items online, and I can tell you they're quite costly. This might be a great opportunity to build that collection. Here's an interesting piece of art that can segue into jewelry. Quite unexpected. And you've got all the brochures and paperwork to go along with it, and I'm sure that could better explain it. You can actually break this down, and the top piece is a pendant. You'll see that loop. You remove the wings, and that can become another jewelry item. And even the skirt can fit as a bolo tie embellishment. Lots more gold in this room. And chinoiserie. Many of these furniture pieces were custom made for the family and shipped over to the United States. And there's also very interesting sculpture. They're full of surprises at this estate sale. And you always want to look for the artist's signature as well. Then you can research the history. I like that it's integrated with that pedestal piece. And there are many collectors out there. This bronze patinated sculpture commands attention. It was created by the artist Angelo Basso. It is signed inside the base, a basso in the Deco style, and it expresses the grace and fluidity of this female dancer. I like to learn about designers that perhaps I was unfamiliar with before, including Angelo Basso, and to better understand the history of a piece. And it gives a bit more meaning for your collection. Now let's take a look at this treasure chest. I happen to have the same flatware chest in my home with my Gorham Strasbourg, and it's a golden surprise. This is something that I see more and more at antique stores. You can even find some mid-century pieces. Dresses up your table. We found a treasure trove of gold flatware. This is making a comeback. The warm tones are wonderful for elegant entertaining and so many seasons. This is a pattern made by Reed & Barton. You always want to look for the serving pieces. It is a plus that they have the cake server and sugar shell, which of course are very important for tea time. A temple tapestry that has been well preserved and protected in this frame. Love those colors. That would be a focal point and really anchor your room. And I'm sure you will have more details in the auction listing. Here's another artistic element that has ties to a very well-known era that was quite surprising to me. You may recognize some of those elements. I'll tell you more about the history of the artist with ties to Russia and France. This statue was designed by Erte, who is known as the father of Art Deco design. He had great influence on fashion, art, and culture. I'll tell you more about his history and how he got his name. Erte was actually a Russian-born French artist and designer. He stems from a Russian military aristocratic family back to the 16th century, and to his family's shock and surprise, he moved to Paris in 1912. His name is actually Romain de Tirtov, and he took his name from the initials RT, pronounced in French RT. And this was purchased on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. This will also be in the auction. I would never have imagined that this has ties to the Art Deco era. However, if you do look at some of those design elements, it does make sense. It's amazing what you can find on Rodeo Drive. It especially looks good on this mirrored tabletop here, and lots of detail even on the back side. A grandfather clock can anchor a room and a home. This one is unique because it is a corner clock, not something that I've actually seen in person before. I've seen corner cabinets, but a grandfather clock, very well chosen for this space. I just love the chimes. This one has been well maintained. It's in perfect condition and would be a great addition to your home. And now we'll take a walk down to the bedroom. Some fine furniture from a well-known U.S. manufacturer, some Egyptian artwork, and lots of rugs. Look at that hand-carved design. It even continues in the bedposts. An estate sale is a great opportunity to purchase some bedroom furniture. This is made by the Drexel Company and that carved rice design that is part of their heritage collection. It's a company that started in North Carolina in 1903 and has become one of the premier U.S. furniture manufacturers. Shopping the secondary market and estate sales is a great opportunity to find quality furnishings and rugs. I know that can be overwhelming when you're shopping a retail market. I will share some tips with you on how to identify quality. There are quite a few Oriental and Persian rugs in this home, and there are ways to identify these to make sure that they are truly authentic, including made of natural materials such as wool, cotton, or silk, and they are woven knot by knot into the foundation. And this carpet was purchased in Tehran. We know that it is authentic Persian. Persian rugs are made of natural materials and natural colors that are animal or plant based, and these colors do not run. If you take a damp cloth, it will not lose the color. And you will also want to turn it over to make sure it's hand knotted. It should appear soft to the touch, and you also want to look for the fringe. This one definitely passes the test. The fringe is part of the body of the rug, the end of the warp yarns. It is not glued or sewn on, and we know that it is authentic. It's also soft to the touch. And there are many ways that you can determine that, including turning it over and finding the country of origin. It's a good idea to have lots of information before you go to an estate sale. Preview the photos, know about your subject, whether it's furnishings, period pieces, or rugs. And that way you can make good and quick decisions. It does get a bit competitive. I certainly have enjoyed sharing this with you today. So glad you joined me today for this preview of the online estate sale auction. There are many treasures that could be yours. I will include a link in the video description below as soon as I get it so that you too can participate in this auction. And what a great view from up above. Thanks again for joining Lady Mary Beth. Elevate your everyday with estate sales.